Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Hey guys, so I just came back from reading an interesting book, and somehow in my head, I really want to talk to you guys about what I just read and why it felt interesting for me to read. So, I decided to share you guys the novel called Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. So as I said in the beginning of the video, I'm going to be telling you guys about Jane Eyre. In the beginning, this book grabbed my attention, and boy was I so excited and impressed about this book. Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Interesting book. Let's see. Whoa. Yep, that was my excitement. Just a simple whoa. Anyway, I'm going to be talking to you guys about chapter 21. Yes, 2-1. In which I read all night. Seriously, all night. So I know what you're thinking. What in the world is this chapter all about? Why did you choose this chapter? Well, in the beginning of the chapter, it states that presentiment, sympathy, and signs are strange things. The word presentiment means that it is a person who has feelings. There are feelings of a person, whether they're bad, happy, good, weird, or even sad feelings. Everyone around the world has feelings for something or someone. Especially me when something worldwide just happens. Or maybe feelings for someone who is hurt in any way or anywhere. When Jane was 6 years old, she heard Bessie talk to Martha Abbott saying that she has dreams of a little child. And then later on she had dreams of children. Then after that, Jane noticed that it is an important warning for having dreams of children. But then it gets worse, because later on, a few nights later, she has dreams involving babies. She's paranoid. Are you that type of person that has something stuck inside your head or having bad dreams while you're sleeping? If yes, you're just like me. I also have nightmares when I'm sleeping. I need a drink. Where's my pen? Yeah, very scary if you agree with me. Moving on! The next day came by, and Jane receives a message that someone is waiting in Mrs. Fairfax's office. When she arrives at her office, she saw a man that's all dressed up in deep mourning. Of course, inside her head, she's gonna be thinking that someone died, but she's worried and hoping that it's not one of her family members. Unfortunately, there was a family member that died. She found out that her cousin, Mr. John Reed, had died at his chamber in London. Turns out he actually committed suicide, which means he killed himself. Jane was shocked and silenced about the frightful news. Then later on, Jane finds out that her aunt, Mrs. Reed, is also sick, who suffered from a stroke and is close to death. Have you ever had the feeling where a person finds out the tragic news about a family member, whether it's caused by sickness or death? I know it's painful to have that moment stuck inside your head the whole time, but you're feeling that you have the guts to take that out, remove that memory, and just throw it until it vanishes. Sorry about that. I'm telling you right now, it's not that easy. Or maybe it can if people don't care about it or what, I don't know. After a few days have gone by, Janie says to Mr. Rochester that she wants to go back to Gateshead. But Mr. Rochester was concerned about Jane because she doesn't have enough change for her trip. Well, turns out Janie had to change it all. Jane says to Mr. Rochester that Adele has to go to school, and she wanted some money to get back to Gateshead in order to see Mrs. Reed. And then she promises Mr. Rochester that her and Adele will make it out of the house safe before the bride comes. After it was all said and done, it was time for her to go back the next day, so yay! When Janie arrived at Gateshead that afternoon, she goes to the entrance of the lobby and then sees so many decorations around. I mean, literally, the whole place was displayed of wonderful decorations, pretty ornaments around the ceiling. I mean, it's full decorations everywhere. Even the furniture, floor, and walls, like this one, are clean. No dirty spots, spick and span. And while in the lobby, there she finds Bessie. Looking back at the last chapters, when Jane feels alone in some ways, Bessie was always there for Jane, even when she had problems. Now get out of here! Back to what I was saying, she even wrote songs for her to make her feel happy and happy. There are times where parents, family members, and friends are always there to help you. Whenever you're sad, whenever you're hurt, or maybe when you're just stressed out on everything that is going on. Like I said before, Bessie always sings a song to Jane to make her feel happy. Even songs we know make us happy too. Yo, what's wrong, dude? I'm always depressed every time. I'm stressful. I'm depressed right now. I can't get it out of my head. Oh, come on, man. Hey, I know we'll cheer you up. What is it? This. Where'd you get that guitar? Oh, look at me now because I am your best friend. Look at me now, this is your favorite song. Cheer up right now, this is the time you can dance now. Cheer up right now, pretty fast, that's right. I said, why are you bringing me down, man? Why are you bringing me down? Don't bring me down! Yeah, thanks, man. Well, I'm still sad. It works sometimes. Bessie said to Janie that Mrs. Reed is feeling okay and alive. When Jane finally arrives at Mrs. Reed's place, she also meets up with her two cousins, Elisa and Georgiana. Elisa is a normal and plain girl who wants to go to a convent, if you guys know what that is already. And Georgiana is pretty and beautiful in this chapter. By the way, when Georgiana greets Jane, she greets her in a calm and relaxing way. Rather than Elisa, when she greets Jane, she greets her with no smile, an abrupt voice when she's speaking to her, and she has the feeling that she doesn't even know Jane, so bye. Okay, seriously, is that how it's going to be? Because when you go out and greet someone, you have to greet them in the proper way. You gotta be like, hello, and welcome to the magical world of Disneyland. Even better than, hey you there, get over here, go to Disneyland right now, hurry up! Not okay. Back to the subject. Elisa and Georgina on the downside have not been getting along ever since Elisa destroyed Georgiana's dream of escaping with a man. A young man. Wow, is this another Rapunzel movie when the guy tries to save Rapunzel by letting down her hair and trying to save her from the tower and escaping and make them free love? Or maybe how Shrek tried to save Fiona from the castle from the dragon, even which Donkey fell in love with and had babies all over the place and in the next movie and then everywhere. Seriously, all four of them are the best movies I've watched so far. For Shrek. When Jane finally meets up with Mrs. Reed up in the room, she tries to lighten things up for her so she can feel comfortable. But instead, Mrs. Reed always ignores her every time, everywhere. And yes, she's full of unfriendliness towards her husband's favorite niece. Then a few days later, Mrs. Reed gives Jane a letter from her uncle, John Eyre. The letter happens to be 3 years old, out of malice. Mrs. Reed told her that she did not forward it when she received it. So Jane stays with Mrs. Reed for a while to smoothen things up and try to soothe her in relaxation. Then that evening, the clock strikes 12 midnight, or AM I suppose, whatever you can say. Mrs. Reed dies in her sleep. Ending this chapter, Elisa and Jane went up to view the body for a while, while Georgiana is alone weeping for the death. For Jane, losing another Reed is painful and is a bad experience for her. A while back in the chapter, Mr. John Reed also died earlier in the chapter. And now at the end of the chapter, we have another Reed that we say bye to. Like I said, it is shocking and horrifying for others, especially me, for a person or family member to see them dying or be sick. Chapter 22 will be taught by Destiny, which she'll be presenting in a couple of minutes, so be ready for that. And thank you for watching. I'm John Duque. And hi, Miss Rogers. Elisa and Georgina on the downside is that they haven't been hanging out or been getting along since... Wow, is this another movie where... Wow, is this another movie when the... Wow, is this another Rapunzel movie when the guy tries to save Rapunzel by letting down her hair and climbing up to the tower? Chapter 22 will be taught by Destiny. You're next. Or maybe how Shrek tries to save Fiona. Or maybe how Shrek tried to save Fiona from the highest...